Can't believe you cracked that sumbitch like that. I can believe that motherfucker got knocked down.
Welcome to another episode of AM Whiskey. I'm Aaron, and this is Mark. Tonight, we're continuing with our Whiskey of the Years. We went ahead and revealed what our bottles were. We did our bottom five of mine and your bottom five.
Mm-hmm.
Now we're going to reveal the rest, say the scores. And then once we get through, we're going to take his top five, my top five. And because he had more bottles, I think I'm going to throw in my wild card, which I was lucky enough to win in a little lottery. So
do a little tasting, huh?
Do a little.
Rings out that way.
Yeah, we'll blind taste those, and that'll determine. We'll rescore them based on that blind, and we'll do that as a video, and that'll be our Whiskey of the Year. But I think it's on me. I think I had next lowest scoring bottle, which actually scored lower than your fifth place bottle by a couple points. And that was the Woodford Batch Proof right there. That one you actually really liked. You gave it an 89.
I liked it. I love it. Yeah, I like this bottle.
I gave it an 87 or an 84. I apologize. For a 173, which put it just below your Jack 10 that you threw in. But, unfortunately, I had some that fell a little bit lower. So,
Woodford Batch Proof.
That's the next one in line.
173.
And
does that mean you get to go again?
Yeah, I'm unfortunately going again because my next bottle actually tied with his last bottle from the last video with a score of 175. We actually had kind of a three-way tie with 175. But
it was a really tough number.
It was tough.
I mean, 175. I mean, we're talking bottles that were each giving high upper 80s.
Yeah, and this one was disappointing for me. The Elijah Craig Barrel Proof C923. I thought it was going to do better. Respectable. 175. You gave it an 86. I gave it an 89.
Mm-hmm.
Very good bottle. Again, I think this is one of those good value bourbons, whiskeys. Oh, all right. It's for the price, it's a tough one to beat. And then, unfortunately, I am gonna just keep on going because the next bottle, also with a 175, was the Jack Daniel's Single Barrel Proof Rye. This one was really good, really close. You gave it an 88. I gave it an 87.
Mm-hmm.
Again, a quality bottle, harder to find than just the regular single barrel proof, which if you were paying attention, you might see a little later on in the scoring.
Yeah. And realistically, I mean, we're probably already in our top 15.
Oh,
we
yeah.
might even be down to like 11, 12, right?
Yeah.
In fact,
I believe these
three
bottles
all tied for 12.
Yeah.
Or they were part of the big tie up at 12, right? We had these three bottles were all at 170. Well, with my bottle, there was what, 4 bottles or 3 bottles at 175?
Three bottles at 175.
3.
The Woodford was at 173. So, speaking of your bottles, I think you're up next.
Well, I had 2 bottles that scored 176. The first of which was Barrel Vantage. So we gave Barrel Vantage 176, 1 point higher than the others. I gave it an 87. You gave it an 89.
Yes. I liked that so much better than Seagrass. And again, I mean, it's
a really great pour.
Finished, but it's finished in
really great pour.
It's good.
It did equal to the other bottle that scored 176. I gave it an 82. You gave it a 94. Talk about a guy that really loves it. We're talking about Stag Batch 23A.
Side note, you saw what I poured in this glass, right? Taste that.
It smells like cinnamon.
Just out of.
Doesn't taste like cinnamon.
Well, it tasted like straight cinnamon to me. I thought I might have mistook this for my
Gemma
Gemma
Kentucky.
Kentucky, but nope. This is my Old Forester 1920, and it tastes.
It smells real cinnamon, but it wasn't too bad on the palate.
Ooh. All right,
Interesting.
sorry.
So,
Side note.
tied for 10th, right? Barrel Vantage, Stag 23A. 10's really, really respectable. We're now creeping into that top 10. There's another tie. 2 bottles. First one.
One of these really surprised me.
One of them is probably the surprise of this tasting. It's a single barrel. It's a store pick. It's MGP juice. I always get the name wrong.
It's Coppercraft.
It's Coppercraft, 9-year-old MGP. It just drank full. It was sweet. There was wood. There was spice. It was damn good. It deserves to crack the top 10. I gave it an 85. You gave it a 93.
I really enjoyed it.
The
Really
bottle
enjoyed it.
that it tied, it's a little bit of a surprise too. It tied E.H. Taylor Barrel Proof Batch 12, which also scored 178 for us. A little bit tighter between us. I was 87.
And I was a 91.
Yeah. I mean, it was really, really, really great.
It's a great whiskey. It was just very sweet, very one-dimensional for me, but it did it so well.
Mm-hmm.
And that's if I'm going to pick a nit, most of the Buffalo Trace
Products
kind of fits that for me. They're a lot sweeter,
Mm-hmm.
especially their higher proof and
But you only scored these 2 points apart.
Oh yeah, again.
I scored them 2 points apart.
Yeah, it's
Right?
very, very good.
Yeah.
Just like the other one that's coming up, very, very good. But now I think we are moving on to what I still think is a member of the Year of Jack. It's the twice-barreled Heritage Rye 2023 limited release. One of the best ryes I've ever had. Very good, very unique. It's similar to this one, but it's much more unique flavoring. I think the twice barreling and the Heritage barrels really did something. You gave it an 87. I jumped into the 90s with this one. This one got a 92 from me for a 179.
Yeah. No, definitely probably the best rye I've had all year.
Yeah, it's very good.
Moving forward up 3 points to 182. We both like this one. I gave it an 86. You gave it a 96.
I really liked this one.
We're back on the Stag train. It's Stag Batch 22A.
And for me, this is kind of the opposite of this, where these hard to find Buffalo Trace bottles, the SFTB, kind of to me are those one note, very sweet, but very, very good. They do that one note and do it really well. The Stag line to me is just a much more well-rounded flavor profile, which is why I think I liked this one so much.
I think so. I'd say it this way: like the H. Taylors do sweet exceptional, second to none.
Yep.
23A was a Stag from the past. 22A was kind of that well-rounded Stag, right? It had sweet, it had grape, it had wood, it had a little bit of spice. It was just a really, really, really well-rounded, beautiful bourbon.
Yeah, we did a review on the 3 different Stags, so you can check out that video. But now we're on to my next bottle. This was my 17-year Jim Beam, the Hardin's Creek Frankfurt edition. I'd love to get my hands on the Boston and the Claremont so that I could kind of do this experiment that I think would be pretty cool. But that's where it was.
I feel like we should put this one in front. We're officially to our top 5 that we have right now. And there isn't a bottle from this point
That's true.
forward that we both didn't give a 90 to.
That's true.
Right? I mean, this is the cream of the crop.
This is.
I say let's shift her on over here. I mean, Hardin's Creek deserves to be up front.
We'll pull these babies back, and these can go
a little bit forward.
Yeah.
I mean, this is some of the best. No, it's not some of. It is.
For the bottles that we got this year, these are the best.
I love the Hardin's Creek. Right, 110 proof. It's a little bit of oak. It's beautiful, sweet. There's some spice to it. It's the right amount. It's perfectly blended together. Everything's in balance. Really like the Frankfurt batch. For me, it fit my profile. Not too nutty, and it was a hell of a pour.
We did get to try the Claremont at a tasting bar. I thought that was really good. So when I saw this for sale, had to pick it up.
I remember,
and since then, I've kind of been trying to hunt for the Boston unsuccessfully. Tried to get the 3-pack unsuccessfully. It's also pretty pricey for what you get, but I think it's such a cool idea just to see how that same whiskey changes depending on where it's located. It's that kind of science nerdiness thing in me, that the whiskey geek thing in me that wants to kind of see the difference between the three. So if anybody wants to send us a bottle or samples of either of those two, we'll gladly take it. Anyways, moving on.
Next up, for the Buffalo Trace hater at the table, he gave it a 90. I gave it a 90. He rated this 92. I rated this 94. It is Blanton's straight from the barrel, right? So this straight from the barrel, it's one we got in 2023. It beat the Stags. It beat E.H. Taylor. It's just more rounded. It's a good one.
It beat him for him.
You gave it a 92.
I did. I'm just saying the 22A, I gave it 96. I like this better. But I am the Buffalo Trace hater, so.
You are the Buffalo Trace hater at the table. No doubt about it.
And
he still gave it a 90.
Yeah.
I mean, 96 and 91.
I was going to say, for being a Buffalo Trace hater, they do some things very well. They do everything very well. I just think a lot of them are overhyped and kind of one-hit wonders. But again, that's me going aside. I think there's one more.
One more for me? Well, I'm busy refilling here with a little Jack Daniel's twice barreled.
What the?
Potentially rye of the year. So, next up, it's in another box. Third place, 187 points. I gave it a 91. You gave it a 96. Jack Daniel's single barrel proof bourbon.
We just did a video on this one. Again, I think this is one of the best values in bourbon. This is a store pick, but even the regular ones are fantastic.
The flavor,
it is
way
a flavor
it drinks. It drinks way under proof. The flavors are second to none. It's maybe not as, you don't get the wood or the spice that some of the others, but it kind of gets into what you said about the E.H. Taylor. What it does exceptionally well.
That's true. All right. And it's interesting, though. We have a Jim Beam there. We have a Buffalo Trace. And we have a Jack Daniel's. I think we're missing a little turkey time. We just went past Thanksgiving. So we'll go to Russell's Reserve 13. Phenomenal bottle. I was extremely excited when I won it. This was one that I really wanted. Got a 189 overall for second place in our picks. Mark gave it a 92. I gave it a 97. I love this bottle.
It's really good.
Love it.
Really, really good. I mean, you keep it relative. I gave out 5 90s. The highest score I gave out was a 94. Aaron gave out 10 90s. The highest score he gave out was a 98. So it's relative.
Yeah. Apparently I'm an easier mark than Mark.
What else is new?
Which leaves us with one bottle. Round out our
One
top five.
bottle. Wait, is it my bottle or your bottle? Who wins this competition? Is it the last bottle standing? The most in the top 5?
Well,
The most in the top 10?
Listen, we are going to take the top 10, your top 5, my top 5. We're going to blind taste them and let the best man win. This was to narrow it down. So just because you won this round, that's a good bottle, though. That's a really good bottle.
Scoring the only bottle to crack 190 points. Scored 191 between the two of us. I gave it a 93. He gave it a 98. Jack Daniels, 12 minutes.
That's really good.
It's really good. It's really, really good. It's all the flavor purity that you get in the single barrel and the barrel proof products with it's just rounded. There's so much
Adds a little more
on.
complexity. You get some of that oak mixed in there. You get all those great flavors that you come to expect from Jack Daniels, especially the barrel proof products. You're going to get that banana. You're going to get a little bit of that nut. You're going to get some chocolate notes. This adds the oak with a little bit more age. Just adds a little more depth of flavor. It is one of the best whiskeys that I've had. Certainly deserves to be in whiskey of the year contention.
No, it's one of those it's one of those best whiskeys of all time, potentially, because like he was describing, you get all these different things, but when you start your drinking experience, you start getting this, and then you move on to that, and then those two flavors combine, and next thing you know, your chocolate and your caramel just turn into to toffee, and then your toffee turns into something else. It keeps moving on you as you sip, and each time you have it is a little bit of a unique experience. It's different.
Well, and I also think it's very approachable for everyone because it's
easy.
like 170 proof. So it's not nearly as hot as some of these other ones.
130, 125, 130, 130, 130, 130 something.
So
130 something.
Pretty much anybody new to bourbon, old to bourbon is going to like this bottle. But for 107 proof, the flavor that you get out of this, the mouthfeel, it's fantastic. And as we did say, Mark had maybe a little bit more bottles than me.
A little bit more bottles.
Sometimes
as it stands.
It's better to be lucky than good. And I have the late entrance that we didn't score because, like I said, it just kind of fell into my lap. But this will be included in our blind tasting for Whiskey of the Year. It is one of those coveted bottles that everybody's looking for, part of the Buffalo Trace Antique Collection, which probably shouldn't just guarantee it a spot right into the finals.
I think look, it's a top. Me and you have both had it.
We have.
We haven't cracked that bottle. In this crowd, it would be in the top 10, right? Is it going to be number 1? I don't think so. You're really doing that right here and now. What do you know? There you go. That's a bottle crack. I guess someone's going to test out their bottle and dump it all over the goddamn place. I need to finish up my Jack Daniels.
There's no time like the present.
It's a deserving bottle. It
So,
deserves being a top 10. It'll be interesting to see how it shakes out. We want to thank everybody for watching. Don't forget to like, subscribe, leave us some feedback, leave us some comments. Let us know how you feel like we did this year's best whiskeys. Anything you want to add?
I think we got it. Let this one breathe a little bit.
Cheers. Keep the whiskey flowing.
Have a good night.